Hello guys and welcome to Plus Equal. In this tutorial we will take our collectibles and create a counting score. So we will need to set up some UI for that and write some piece of code, but will be something very easy. Let's start by going into our script of the player controller, opening this in Visual Studio. So we will need a variable, an integer, to keep the counting of the collectibles. Here I will create a new private int count collectibles. I will initialize this variable right here. Count collectibles will be equal to 0 when we start our game. And every time we got a collectible, we want to add 1 to the counting. So here we have the if statement. If we hit the collider having this tag, we already are deactivating the collectible, and now we can say, after deactivating the collectible, we can put count collectibles plus equal 1. This is the same that saying count collectibles equals to count collectibles plus 1. So imagine that we are catching our first collectible. This will be 0 and we will be adding 1 to it. So we return this variable with 1. After we catch the second collectible, it will be 1 plus 1, it will be 2, and so on. This is basically the same, but it avoids this repetition of putting the name of the variable. It will say put count collectibles and add it 1, and that will return the value. We can see if this is working by creating a debug.log and printing out the count collectibles. Let's save and let's go back into Unity. Let's hit play. Let's open up the console here and let's catch some collectibles. So there we go, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. Okay, we have 8 collectibles and this is working fine. Now we need to create a new UI text. People nowadays tend to use the UI TextMeshPro. You can imagine it as an upgrade version of the normal text. When you press it, it will automatically create a canvas, and here you need to import the TextMeshPro essentials. You don't need to import these examples and extras if you don't want to. Let's quit here. Oh, we already have the event system, don't worry, everything is created for the UI. Usually UI stuff needs to be inside the canvas, like our text here. The canvas is a little different in the scene. If you put 2D, and you can see the text or the canvas. So this is the area of our game. You can see that our text here is a little off the screen and is happening exactly here. Let me reduce the scale. You can see it's the same example. So we can grab this and let's push it up, or you can move the anchor. For example, if I want it to be here in this position, I can select the Alt to also set position and put it here in this corner. It will move right there. I can zoom in my text. It looks like my text could have a bigger font size. Let me try something like 48. Okay, looks good. Maybe you can take this down to -200 and -50, so it's not really in the corner. Here you can also update your text to be something like plus equal collectibles, and we discover the hard way that we need to have a bigger box. So let's resize this also here on the right, because we need to have space to put a number there. You can also push it here if you want to move it along the canvas. Okay, this way it seems good. Before we play, we need to replace the input system here. because we changed this early on, we just need to press replace with input system UI input module, and this should be okay. Now we should be able to hit play, and there we go. Okay, my text looks good. It's readable, it has space for the count. That's all we need for this purpose of this tutorial. Let's go back, and let's go back to our script player controller. There is another namespace that we need to put here, and that is TextMeshPro. Then we need another variable to be our reference for our text. So I will create a new serialized field for the TextMesh UGUI, and I will call it count collectibles. Oops, count collectibles text. Before you forget, you can now already go into Unity, and in our player script you should be able to see a space for a TextMeshPro. We will put our TextMeshPro there. Let me just rename this to the count collectibles text. Put this, oops, let me put the player, put this right there. Before I forget, let's save this. We need to write a more a piece of code. We need a function to update our text. So after this older method, we will create a new one, and let's call it count collectibles text. Oops, parentheses. Let's open our braces, and all we need to do is take the variable that we created for our text. So we will put count collectibles text. You can see the difference of this one being the method by the parentheses, or by having a C in uppercase at the beginning, while this is a variable. So we'll pick this one, or you can write the text down, and I want this to be equal to the same text that we have inside Unity, p collectibles. So I'll put here p collectibles, or this will overwrite that and the text will disappear. And I want to concatenate here the number of collectibles that I got. So we have the variable for that right here is count collectibles. Let's put count collectibles. However, because we are putting this as a text in the UI, we need to put this into a string. So we have a method for that, that is .toString, and this is basically taking our int, that is a number, and put it as a string. So this way Unity knows what information you have to display on the text. Oh, talking about text, we need to put here .text. Sorry. Basically this means that here inside Unity, I will take the example. We are saying take the TextMeshPro and take the text component, and that is this input here. So let's go back to Visual Studio. Now that we have our method, we need to call this on start, because it's not worth it to have this in fixed update. Calling this every frame will be massive, but we don't need that. We can call it once in the start to update the text, count collectibles text, like this, and we can call this also when we get a collectible. So here we'll put something like, we can replace the debug.log, and we can put count collectibles text. So after we update the variable, we call the method. You can't do this the other way around. You need to respect the order. First you want to update the number of collectibles, and then you update the number of collectibles, or even better, you update all the text which have the number of the collectible. Now yes, we can save this and go into Unity, and if we try this out, this should be working fine. Let's see, let me take a collectible here. You can see that collectibles are equal to 0 now. It's the number of the variable. We didn't got any collectible at the moment. At the moment that you collect 1, it will update to 1, and so on. 2, 3, 4, 4, and so on. We can also create a text for whenever we get all the collectibles, we can display a text of winning or something. That's very simple. We go into our script, and here in our method of count collectibles text, we can say if our count collectibles, this is the number of the collectibles, is bigger or equal to 8, we will do something. What we can do, we can create a variable for a game object that will stay hidden at the start, something like a serialized field, again TextMeshPro GUI. Let's say that this is our win text, and we need to create it in Unity. We need to create another UI, TextMeshPro. Let's call it win text. Win text, I will put it without any text inside, or you can put something like congrats, you completed the rollable tutorial. Now it's time to resize our text. So let's grab this. Let's resize this a little bit. Let's center this on the screen, and we can align it here as well. I will go here and press Alt to set it to the middle of the screen, but I don't like it there. I will push it a little bit up, because by the time this text appears, we will not have the collectibles there. You can also put this to something like 60. Maybe 60 is a lot. 50. Okay. You can put it bold if you want. You have a lot of options here to mess around. I think I will stay my text as it is. My text will be something like this. So I will copy this here, go back into Unity, and here when we reach the collectibles equal or bigger than 8, I will change my winning text dot text to be equal to this. However, here I need to put a /n. So /n to create a space down. Let's see if this is working in a second. I forgot to put in my player controller my win text, game object, player. Let's grab this into here, and now let's take the text out. So it will only appear when the collectibles are equal to 8 or more. Let's try this out. Let me try to catch all the collectibles and see if this is working. Oops. Let's go up. 7, 8. Congrats! You completed the rollerball tutorial. Okay, that's pretty good. This message here, I really mean it. Congratulations guys, you completed your first tutorial, probably the first tutorial here on the channel, maybe your first tutorial in Unity. I just hope you guys learn a lot with this simple tutorial of rollerball. It's really a classic. I really love this tutorial, because even if you are new to this, you can see the potential that this kind of stuff have. So that will be it for this tutorial. I will only add one more video, but it's about creating a build. It still will be part of the tutorial, but it's a little different, because our objective will be to play our game in a standalone build in your computer. So thanks a bunch for watching this tutorial. I will see you in the tutorial where we will create a build. See you there, stay cool.